I put this video off for almost a year now. Some of you guys have been asking me to do this video. I think C&E Tate, is that who it is? What's up, bro? I am excited for this. Now, I was waiting to get some gear from Banks. I wanted to show you guys the true RPMs on these trucks. Unfortunately, my guy is out of town on vacation and I couldn't get some gauges to put with these trucks. So I wanted to show you the actual RPMs. But nevertheless, we're going to check out the temperatures. We're going to check out performance, MPG. Is the 331 the way to go, or should you just get the 355? Let's get started. I just reset the fuel economy and I'm going to do it in the exact same spot for both trucks, obviously. So I'm going to try to take it easy for this first half of the trip. And what I'll do is I'm going to show you guys obviously 0 to 60. And that's going to be really the main point for this video. I want to show you guys the shifts, right? That's the biggest difference. I want to see which gear will this truck shift in out of first. Now obviously we all know when you have the 355 your RPMs are going to be slightly higher. So it's possible that you might have 2 shifts before 60, or maybe even 3 shifts. I'm thinking I'm driving my Corvette. I'm not driving a Corvette right now. This might be 3 shifts because again, your RPM is a little bit higher compared to the 331. But really, how is the transmission temperature going to be with this truck too? That's another good thing to monitor. Now, I will say you probably won't notice a difference between these trucks. You probably won't. Just saying. But what I really want to see is that 0 to 60. And of course, while we're doing it, we might as well go ahead and check out what the MPG is going to be, right? Every time I get into these 2025s, especially like the Lariats, I'm always looking for like the power steering buttons to adjust this. And like, oh no, I forgot. You have to do it manually now. They stuck us with these Ford trucks, didn't they? They just keep taking stuff away. But yeah, it's nice to have power. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's those little things, right? That's what really matters sometimes, the little things. But with this truck here, I'm in 9th gear at 50 miles an hour. It dropped down a little bit. I will show you guys the RPMs too at certain speeds. So yeah, let's go ahead and drive that 331. I want to see if there's anything I feel different with this truck versus that one. As you would expect, there's no difference obviously at these low speeds. Now if you were lugging on 37s, you will drop the RPMs even more so on this truck. So I would say, just hypothetically, there could be a slight difference with the 331 compared to the 355. You're probably going back to a 331 with 37s with the truck with 355, right? Yeah, just a little bit of acceleration. Yeah, these both have the high outputs, right? They have the same diesel. They're literally the exact same trucks. I'll show that to you here in a second. The only difference is 331 versus 355. It took me like 20 minutes to pick these trucks today because I've had to make sure one didn't have the standard output. Then I had to make sure one was an F350 because most of the F350s there have 331s. You can get a 355 F250s, but I wanted F350s, 355s, high output power stroke. That's what I wanted, and I got it. It took me 20 minutes to pick out these trucks. So like I said, yeah, again, like I said, these trucks, they have so much power. Like when you give it a little bit of juice, it just goes. Now I did notice like this one at 50 miles an hour is kind of hanging out in 8th gear. Let me take my foot off the gas, see if it'll just kind of, nope, it's hanging out in 8th gear. Interesting. We're back in the 355 truck. Now I did set up the heads-up display to have the RPMs because I feel like you could see them a little bit better over there. Although, I don't know, maybe it might be harder for you guys to read it, so I may have to just do it from here. But yeah, we'll keep all the temperatures front and center. You guys can see at the very top, transmission, and that's the oil all the way to the left there. All right, and then we'll keep up the gauges here so you guys can see all the temperatures. But yeah, when you are cruising at 60 miles an hour, you guys see where we are for the RPMs. They're super low. This is a 355 truck, so even with this one, it's not a big difference. Let's drop down to 50. We're still in 10th gear. Yeah, we're like probably 1100, 1200 in there. That's why I was hoping to get my Banks gauges so you guys can see the actual number. Now let's go ahead and get up to about 75. It did utilize 9th gear. Now we're back in 10th. Now we're over 1500 RPMs. Probably, I would say we're probably about 1700 right there. Let's go ahead and see what it is for that 331 truck. So you guys see right there, transmission's only at 98. It's going up a little bit, but it's lower, which is what I was kind of interested to see if that would actually happen. Because again, you do have higher RPMs with the 355 versus this 331. Now at 60 miles an hour, let's get back up. We're in 9th gear. Now we're back in 10th. Okay, so it looks like the RPMs are very, very similar for sure. Very similar. Let's drop back down to 55. I'm gonna use my brakes a little bit now. 55. Oh yeah, okay, so at this RPM, you see that we're almost at 1,000 RPMs with the 331s. So imagine if you had a taller tire with a truck like this. That would just really put you probably right under 1,000. And you could create this lugging with these types of trucks when you have those taller tires. So that's the only negative thing about taller tires with this higher gearing. So just keep these things in mind when you are picking your truck. Now, in case you're wondering about these two trucks, these are almost as identical as it gets. Neither one does have a sunroof. They both have the ultimate package, which you can tell from the heads-up display. This is the 355 truck here, and you guys will see here are all the options. Has rapid heat and the block heater, upfitter switches, and then the total price of this one's gonna be $92,695, and pretty much the same stuff here. $93,360. We are getting off at exit 11, and we drove about 7.5 miles. You guys see the fuel economy? Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Yeah, Ford has somehow fixed that on these trucks here, but here is the temperatures. You guys can see 170 degrees for that transmission, 189 for the coolant, so 117. Now when we stop, that number's gonna go up more and more for that transmission. So let's see, I don't know how long I'm gonna be stopped for, but let's see if it goes up any. Not yet. Maybe not. Engine oil's at 195. Coolant's at 187. So yeah, transmission's at 174 now. Let's go ahead and see what the midpoint is for that 331 truck. With the 331, we've made it to exit 11. Now, I can't remember the temperature obviously because I'm not driving these trucks literally back to back. Most of you probably know that. Look at that. I am shocked. I'm shocked. I would have not expected it to be this much better. Wow. Is that what, an MPG better? That's insane. That's like an MPG better. And these trucks were driven the exact same. Gauges, temperature on the oh my gosh. Wow. Tell me this isn't crazy. There's a difference when you get that 331 versus 355. Now the outside temperature today is 66 degrees. Just saying. Just saying. Here are the numbers for the 355. Nothing's gonna really change for the truck, but here's the payload at 4,078 pounds. So here are the numbers for that 331. So everything matches up here, but the payload is lower because of the Pro Power onboard. That's the only difference between these two trucks here, okay? As you guys know, this is the Mac Daddy engine. 500 horsepower, 1,200 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes through a 10-speed transmission. Let's see how it accelerates to 60. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here are the temperatures after that 0 to basically 80 mile an hour. And here it is for the 331. 331 after the 0 to 80. And the RPMs at 75 miles an hour. Just over, barely over 1,500 RPMs, barely. We're pulling back in. This is a 355 truck, FYI. And we're gonna stop in the exact same spot. So right here. So we drove about 15.3 miles, 18.7 MPG, almost 20 minutes by the way. And then here is temperatures. 189 for coolant, transmission is 195, engine oil temp is 197. Let's check the 331. We just pulled back in and we're gonna stop in the exact same spot right here. 18.9 MPGs, 15.3 miles driven, almost exact same time as last. Can you guys see that? About 150 degrees right here for the 355. You guys see there? No matter where I point it at, it's at about 120, 123 on that rear diff for the 331. So is anyone else as shocked as I am? I would not have expected the 331s to perform as good as they did. Now, you guys did see when I did the 0 to 60, it did drop the fuel economy a good bit. But yes, I think that if I were to buy one of these trucks and keeping it stock, the 331 might be the way to go. But if you're someone who's going to run 35, 37s, change the gearing on the truck with your tires, I would just 100% go with the 355. Now, I don't remember which truck is the 355 because these trucks are identical. But yes, I had fun today. This is definitely something to consider if you are looking to keep your truck for the long term. I think the 355s will probably get you a little bit less fuel economy just because of the high RPMs. But the axle was a little bit hotter too for the 355, so that was a little shocking as well. And I drove these trucks the exact same. I just moved them over here, let them idle for like maybe 3 minutes each, just try to get them a little bit warmed up. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts down below. See you soon.